Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Ellie. This is my first YouTube video. I am here. I am ready to start this journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's look is going to be pretty much based on what I wear on days that I don't want to pull out a cut crease, pull out rainbow palettes when I go off to work. I do work for Sephora. I've been working for Sephora for almost 2 years and it's been the most amazing experience. I have learned so much and I cannot wait to learn more and teach you guys more as well. If you want to see how I did this look, please keep on watching. So I brought you guys a little bit closer just because I wanted you guys to see in depth what I am doing. I am going to be looking at my little mirror down below, so if it's angling off, this is what the first videos are like. I'm still kind of getting used to how to film and angles and stuff like that. I don't have something to look back on because I'm using the back part of my camera of my phone, so bear with me. I am definitely getting used to these things. To start off, I'm going to take an oldie but a goodie, the Huda Rose Gold palette. I really like this palette for certain shades especially. I'm going to go ahead with the shade Sandalwood and use that as my crease color. And what I like to do, you guys, is first of all, I really like to look down. When I do my eyeshadows, I feel like it opens up my lid instead of kind of looking up and kind of inching. You're kind of trying to see, so your eyes are naturally going to open up wider and you're not going to really expose what you're trying to expose. So I definitely love looking down because I just find that I can see my crease a lot more. This has been my go-to crease color for a couple of looks for the past couple of months. It really honestly is just that nice base color that I've been wanting and needing in my life. It just makes things so much better. Just finished my crease color. I am now actually switching to another palette. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. This is one of my go-to palettes for creases as well, or just as transition tones, because the Basics palette pretty much provides you with all the tones of shades that you possibly could need. I'm actually gonna go in the shade Faith, and I'm just gonna dip my Sephora Collection number 10 crease brush in there and just kind of add a little bit more depth to my crease. I'm gonna go in with my Modern Renaissance palette. You know, everyone knows what this is. Mine is just beat up and dirty. I'm going to go into the shade Cypress Umber. It's one of my favorite darker shades for the outer corner of my eye, kind of dragging it into the crease as well. So I'm just gonna dip my brush into Cypress Umber, tap the excess, go right into the outer corner of my eye and just add that color ever so slightly, starting to build it up. So I'm gonna go back with that crease brush and kind of start circling, just doing little circle motions and bringing it into my crease. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and blend that out. And as you can see, it's coming out. It's coming towards the inner corner ever so softly. I'm gonna just continue to drag it outwards also and in. I'm actually gonna go in with the same Modern Renaissance palette in the shade Regar, I really honestly cannot pronounce things, Regar, something like that. This nice orangey, burnt orangey shade. Same crease brush from Sephora Collection. I'm gonna tap it out. I'm gonna actually add that on top of the brown because I do like when they mix together, they kind of add this nice rusty kind of soft brown effect. So once I actually get that going and putting that back into my crease, I go back into Cypress Umber and get that darkness back. So I'm just building it back up. I'm going to use the Morphe E23 brush. I like it because it's a dense brush, so I can really buff out the shadows, just so that I can have a nice transition with this brown that's going on. and I don't have just a block of brown. I am going to go into a very beloved palette, the Jaclyn Hill palette. I am obsessed with this. I got it very, very late, so I didn't jump on the wagon when it first came out, but now I have, and I don't know what took me so long, but it's one of my favorites because it has just all these beautiful luminous shades that just go velvety and pigmented and all that jazz onto the eyes, and I absolutely love it. But I'm gonna go with Meeks. It's like this really, I wonder if you guys can see it. It's this pretty bronzy tone eyeshadow. It's just really pretty. I'm gonna go right into that Jaclyn Hill palette, take it, tap the excess, and we're gonna start to fill in the lid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and swipe that onto the eye. And I like this because it's just the perfect amount of shimmer without being too crazy overpowering. Just gonna go right and add that to my eye. Once I get that placed, I want more depth. I know that I have the pretty base for it. I really just want to add more dimension to the eye, so I will go back with Cypress Umber, I should say, and get that a little bit messier and bring that in a little bit more. So once I am done with that, I just go in and take a shader brush, or actually another blending brush. This is the Morphe E30 brush, and I'm going to use that just to kind of clean the edges, really buff this out, make sure that the placement is how I want it, and it just looks flawless. I'm going to go ahead and do my other eye off camera, and I will be back. Hey guys, so I did go ahead and finish my other eye. I did add some mascara and a winged liner. I'm going to be using the Lancome Tint Idole foundation. Excuse the top, I've misplaced the cap, so it looks kind of gross. I should have cleaned it before I did this, but it wouldn't be as real if I didn't show you how I really am. So I'm using shade 500 Suede W for my foundation. So my phone actually ran out of space while I was recording, and I had no idea because, you know, first time YouTuber problems. I pretty much was putting on my foundation, and that's where I have left off. Conceal, I'm going to use the Tarte Creaseless concealer in the shade Deep. I really do like how this performs. It is a little bit on the lighter side. Even when I apply it, it's like, holy cow, but it's something that I really, really like because when I finish my look, it kind of all comes together. So I'm gonna go right ahead into it and just kind of do a little streaks here and there. I do it on my chin. I do right above my lip. And then I go ahead and go right onto my forehead. To blend out my concealer, I'm actually going to use a damp beauty blender. I don't really like this technique that much with this concealer because this is a tackier concealer itself. So what I actually am going to do first is I'm going to take my ring finger and kind of go in and place the concealer, kind of dab it all over. The warmth of your finger is actually going to make this concealer blend out a lot more, and it just kind of blends into my skin when I do it this way. So now I'm just gonna go in with the beauty blender and kind of blend this concealer out a little more to make sure that it's nice and seamless. Sometimes I do go back with another concealer. I'm actually gonna take Lancome's Tint Idole Camouflage Wear in 435. As you can see, I am a Lancome kind of girl. I really do like their products because they work with my complexion. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of that concealer right on my finger. I'm gonna tap both of my fingers together, get that weird tackiness, and go right under my eye with this as well. This is just a little bit of a brighter color, so my under eye just ends up looking way better. For my contour, I've been using this one product for a while, ever since it came out. It is the Fenty matchstick. I use it in the shade Espresso to contour. It's more of a cooler tone for me, and it definitely just works exactly how I need it to. So I pretty much look at myself in the mirror and I go from the very top of my ear. I just go do my little fishy face, and I don't bring it all the way out. I just kind of do a little swipe, a couple of little swipes there, a couple of swipes there, and then I do some on my forehead and I do it on my chin. To blend out my contour, I like to use the Real Techniques brush buffing contour brush. I've been using it for a while. First I had used it as a powder for under my eyes, and then I recently grabbed it to apply my contour, and I absolutely love how it performs. So I pretty much am just gonna go ahead and just buff that in. I do drag it out, but I'm also doing kind of like a weird little circling motion as I move it to bring it upwards, and I'm trying to focus to not get it below where I placed it. But this is definitely my favorite way to blend out my contour. Once I've blended out my contour, it is time for powder. So I go in with my Airspun and my Beauty Blender, and I don't apply a lot of the Airspun because Airspun is not, it doesn't have a yellow tint, so sometimes if I do it weird, it does leave that weird cast. But I just go really lightly under my under eye with it. Just a little bit. I really do just like to add my Airspun all over my face and just kind of get on my nose, up on my eyes right here, like this, on my chin, around my lip as well. And I do let it kind of sit for a second. But to pretty much buff out my powder, I do use another Real Techniques brush, the buffing brush. I love this dome dense brush. It's not super, super dense, but it does exactly what I need it to. And I just go ahead and gently buff away the Airspun, just so that I don't have a weird white cast, and it just does the job, and everything kind of comes together. I buff and I also press. So when I press, I'm kind of getting the Airspun to kind of get into my skin a little bit more and blend out to look a lot more seamless. So once I get all my powder blended out, I do go ahead and start my blush. The NARS blush that you get when you become a rouge at Sephora a couple years ago. I have this and I've had it for quite some time, and it's just such a pretty color. I believe the name is Beautyedgeellie. I could be very wrong with pronunciation because again, I suck at it. But I'm just gonna take an IT brush from Ulta, and it's the Soft Touch Blush Brush, and I do like this brush a lot when I apply my blush. And I just go ahead and add a little bit of color to my cheeks. Just a slight bit, because I don't really like when it's like crazy. Next, I'm going to highlight. My go-to favorite highlighters right now. Super just gorgeous on the skin itself. It doesn't even look like I've used it, even though I have. It's one of my ultimate favorites, and I love, love, love using it. Kind of go and softly add that highlight. Come on, glow! I go back with a buffing brush, and I actually go ahead and press the brush against the highlight and kind of help blend it, and it softens it just enough. If I want to go back with a more blinding highlight, I will go back and add more. So I did go ahead and apply my lashes off camera. I can honestly say I'm the kind of person who can never end a look without her lashes on. My favorite lashes of all time are Samantha number 7s from Huda. They're just so beautiful. They always place and look so nice. They definitely make a difference for me personally. But yeah, there you guys have it. This is my lazy Sephora workday kind of look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know down below if you guys want to see more content. Thank you guys again for tuning in for my very first video on my channel. I really appreciate all the love and support. If you want to support me some more, my Instagram page is Beautyedgeellie. I will link the links down below. Bye!